Hey, I'm ElusiveKev, welcome back to MotoGP 17 and the Rider Careers. Patrick McDonald had a very up and down time in Qatar and Argentina last time out. Can he be more upright around the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas? As here goes Patrick McDonald around the Circuit of the Americas. Not a very good start. Just his warm-up that for these two efforts in qualifying to make it through the qualifying two. Remember, he has to finish in the top two, like he has done so far this season. To go up the hill. This is very tight left-hander. And you've got that massive tower in front, that viewing gantry for fans. Aim for into that fast right now. The sweeping S-bends. Been out of line for McDonald so far. Managed to gather it up somehow. To the left, that is the short circuit. We'll be taking that. I know it might enable us to come first, but I don't think we'll be disqualified after. So go up the hill. Over to the fans on the right hand side and then go downhill through the kink. Using all the curb on the outside, somehow staying upright. This McDonald. Bit of an adventure so far, this that. That's nice and smooth out of the hairpin onto this back straight. These MotoGP bikes reach speeds around 220 miles per hour, they can. Let's see what McDonald does. Now approaching 210. And this Aprilla goes into the apex. Back in doesn't kick out as much as the Moto2 bike, so you can do that. And then the Circuit of the Americas, a bit like Argentina. Tyre will be an issue towards the end of the race. Might have to go for a hard rear. Yes, that's what we've been struggling in Qatar. In Argentina, McDonald has. Going with that medium rear tyre as well with medium fronts. Medium fronts is fine, just medium rears. His riding style so far on this MotoGP bike, not as smooth as it needs to be. I mean he has to go for the harder compound. Because once again he's outbraked himself massively into the final corner. Taking his own line. That's a 203.7. That's a decent lap. Might be enough to make him through, but let's make sure with this second effort. This is amazing how you climb the hill and go down it. And through the right hander. Side lift. Let's see if we can hook up these S's a bit better. That's better for the first two parts. A bit slow into the third. He's hit all the apex, then runs massively wide into the left. But you can see almost a second up. So much better than his first effort. As Alex Rins down on the Suzuki. And oh, McDonald almost down. Out the left hander, something lift massively through the downhill kink. That's buggered up his middle sector. It's still faster than his previous lap though. You can get a nice smooth exit out of that hairpin onto this back straight. It's so important to do that. It's going to be a slipstream battle in the race down here. He's only lost a couple of tenths thanks to that mistake. Not too bad at all. So there's Jack Miller to 3.6. Tenth faster than McDonald so far. You don't want to go much quicker on this effort though. Going to be half a second faster than Miller so far. And here comes Petrucci though with a 203.5. So still McDonald will be faster. As it's nice and competitive early on though in this session. 10 minutes left, McDonald going a bit wide through reverse turn 8. Nicely on the power, nice and smooth, heading towards the penultimate corner, using the full width of the track. Look at that. Nicely controlled. Now he's made sure he's braked properly into the final corner. As this is enough to go through the qualifying. Oh yes it is. Second faster almost. As McDonald pulled that out of the bag in the final sector. And look at that, almost a second faster than Petrucci. Also makes it through by 7,000 a second. Head of Mera. Just wanted to see at least Spogger down in 5th, not making it through, and Sam Lowe's down in 13th. So can the Solar Aprilla do well in qualifying 2? As there we go. Was one effort in qualifying 2. Patrick McDonald for pole. Remember, did a 202.5. That might be good enough for pole. Unlike in Argentina, we had to improve by around half a second to be right up there. Same with Qatar. At that time, he'd be right up there, and he made a huge mistake, remember. After the first sector, losing at least a couple of tenths, maybe more. So though 205 might be possible for Patrick McDonald, and who knows where that will leave him on the grid. He's trying to negotiate these S's, but looks like his radar's a bit off of where the corners are. Goes a bit wide again into that left hand, a very difficulty at that apex. And through the right, up the hill. Can he keep it nice and smooth this time? He can. Doesn't have to lift as much as all using the full width of the track and some. Hooks up that apex off the hairpin. Puts the power nicely, even though he's spinning up the rear wheels. You go down this back straight. 201. 3.9 so far. 103.9 should I say. Don't know where the 2 came from. Well, that's what we're hoping at the end of that. 201. Very unlikely, but you never know. It's all a bit wide. Oh, in the stadium section, somehow keeps the bike upright. How has he done that? The catalytic refix is coming to play again for McDonald. As he goes into reverse, turn 8. So named because it's a bit like we're calling it the old Istanbul circuit. It's into the penultimate corner. Not a bit cautious. Now into the final corner. Picks up that apex. And across the line, it's at 202.8, slower. And he needed to be in the 201s in the end as Marquez grabs pole ahead of Rossi and Vinales with Dovi, Pedrosa and Zarco on the second row. Great job from the Frenchman. Then Crutcho, Lorenzo and Iannone. That's where McDonald would have been in the middle of the third row, but instead he leads the fourth row ahead of Petrucci and Folger. Let's see what he can do in the race. As we look at the grid, look at Zarco, pretty happy with that second row. Dovi 04 in fourth, not very happy about that, as there is Green still in 10th, leading that fourth row ahead of the supermodel Petrucci. As they can further back outside of the top 10, there is the Spargo in 15th, and there's Sam Lowes in 23rd. As we have the engine of the Aprilla for the lights up here. And go out for this 6-lap race. And a smooth start from McDonald, who can go past Crutcho and Lorenzo into the first corner. As they rise up the hill. Oh, it gets a bit compact, and Cara Abraham behind has gone down the Czech rider from 19th. So McDonald looking to the inside of Iannone, but actually loses out to Lorenzo. Is that? Or was that Dovi? So there's Marquez down in 8th. Oh, McDonald almost losing the rear. And there's the supermodel coming to greet him in Petrucci. So look around the outside. Oh, down to 11th. Looked like he's making moves at the start, but instead struggling to hold on and get into the top 10 as Crutcho gets the old Marquez treatment in front. Not very happy about being down to 8 from pole, remember. Let's look at that, Zarco in 2nd. Incredible start from the Frenchman. As he got Redding ahead of Folger. Got Dovi battling for 6th with Iannone. But here comes McDonald on Crutcho. Can he outbrake the Englishman? Gets into the side as Pedrosa up to 2nd ahead of Zarco, and there goes. McDonald has Dovi ahead of his teammate Lorenzo for the top 5. Oh, McDonald a bit wide. It's Rossi up to 3rd now ahead of Zarco. Zarco dropping back. After that start, and oh, Crutcho into McDonald. The Englishman down from 9th. Just drove into McDonald. What did he expect the Aprilla to do there? Still says he's behind McDonald, but that's unlikely after that fall. As we come to the end of a dramatic opening lap. Fast starters everywhere. People all shuffled out. But in the end, there's still a Yamaha leading in Bernardes by handsome margin ahead of Rossi, who's battling with Pedrosa. The second, as we got Redding ahead of Volga. McDonald looking down the inside of Iannone from a mile back. Not quite working out. Should know better against the Suzuki man as Dovi up to second ahead of Rossi. And here's the Hondas. You can see of Marquez down in 7th, being majorly held up by Zarco and Lorenzo. Those two are used to battling each other this season. Marquez not used to be overtaken by Aprilla. What's happened in the last race? McDonald again ahead of him. Guess he can stay ahead of him. As Lorenzo nicking back. Being that McDonald presence. It's all into the hairpin. Here comes Marquez trying to outbrake Aprilla. And he does. Nice move from the multiple MotoGP champ. Zarco ahead. Lorenzo 4th. Look at that slipstream the Tech 3's given to the factory Ducati and Honda. Not a bit too far back to make a move as Marquez down. The King of America is down. So good. Across the Atlantic, but not today for Marc Marquez. Horrible start from pole. And now it's falling in a battle for the top 5. Now it's up to McDonald to try and do what Marquez could and get past Lorenzo and Zarco. Maybe hunt down that second place, because in this like Vinales got a handsome lead after opening that. It's about the only rider he didn't have something happen to him. Zarco a bit wide in the final corner. Lorenzo follows suit. McDonald with a much better pick up the bite in the slipstream. Iannone 3/4 of a second behind. It looks like Lorenzo trying to make the move on Zarco on the inside. McDonald looking to the outside. Into the inside. He gets Zarco at least. He gets Lorenzo. He's into the top 5. Great move on the Aprilla. It's like struggling like hell with traction. Struggling so much. It's gone a bit wide through the S's. He's got a 3/10 of a second penalty. Somehow kept it upright. He tries to find a place to rejoin the circuit. In 11th. He's got Lois Baz behind in 12th on the Avintia. Great job from the Frenchman. But McDonald, what a mistake into the S's. Finally broke through into the top 5. Now he's got to work his way up towards it all over again. Somehow did not fall though. So he's improving. Let's look at that, really. Out of the hairpin. There's a spark ahead of Baz now for 12th. Baz getting him right back on the exit though. And I think that was Volga in front doing the really on Scott Redding. Now the Pramac man back ahead of the Tech 3. And it was Volga. And Zarco still in front. And around 7th is that. Spargo and Baz still battling like a hell behind. We're taking a very wide line into the left-hander. Trying to pick this bike up early as Jack Miller up to 12th now. The Aussie making moves. He's further up. So is McDonald. Through. The fast right-hand is up into 9th now. Ahead of Redding. Don't expect to move there. That's what McDonald banked on. The front man just gave oceans of space to the Aprilla. As we go into the second half of this race, McDonald on the comeback trail, a second behind Iannone. Down half a second ahead of Volga behind. But of course he's got company. McDonald doesn't, he can concentrate on where he needs to brake for this first corner. Not the best braking point, no. In the Aprilla. Now let's see if we can make it through these S's. Try to overcorrect and got all stuck on the curb. In the previous episode, Miller out from 13th. I said he was making moves previous to that. Now he's making moves out the points. On that Mark VDS machine. Very disappointing for Jack. Go up the hill with McDonald. right in the tail of Iannone now. That second gap has been evaporated in the first half of this lap. And so Suzuki and Aprilla do battle once again, and oh, he slides the bike into the hairpin. That doesn't normally work. As you've got Zarco and Lorenzo battling for a top 5 in front. Looks like Ducati's got it with the straight line speed, of course, down this back straight. And Zarco gets it back low into the corner. Looks like that's what he's done, the Frenchman. Swador looking down the inside of Iannone. Out of the sharpest elbows. Who's got them? Kind of blocking off McDonald into that left-hander. Right in his tail, he got a second gap behind to Redding. And then into this right-hander. Just carries so much speed, McDonald, so confident. He's got Petrucci still in 7th in front. But for how much longer? He's going to penultimate corner. Oh, McDonald down! Just losing the rear. He rejoins in 11th though. And oh, if you say that, at least just pushes him wide in the final corner. To go into penultimate lap of the race. The Aprilla's gloves are off. McDonald giving his teammate a little nudge on the way by. Like, what was that for? As he reclaims 11th. Top 10 still possible for McDonald despite this crazy race where he's been up there, then made a mistake in the S's, had to battle his way through. Look, he's finally making his way up the order, then he's got into another incident. Now in these last couple of laps, where can he fit? Still a top 5 is within reach. Despite everything. Because Lorenzo and Zarco are just holding each other up. And now, we've almost got a chain of like 5 riders on their tail now. Could have a chain of 7 for 5th in this race as well. How did McDonald hold on to the bike through the kink? He's trying to outbrake Volga. And he does into the top 10. Now can he get a slipstream off that Premac Ducati, which is very fast in a straight line. But so it's the Tech 3 with the slipstream from the Gresini Aprilla. Oh, McDonald trying to outbrake Redding there, went too wide, and oh, Volga now into McDonald. Why's everyone got in for McDonald this race? There's quite a few riders now who've just ridden into him, like he isn't even there. We'll start here with Cal Crutchlow. None of those other riders have fallen, no. Surprised McDonald hasn't. As he goes through this fast right, nicking to the inside of Redding. They make it Sekigan up into 9th. And now he's back behind Iannone, his favourite Suzuki. To go on to this final lap. With good rear tyres, he's put the hard rear, remember, on. So of the medium this race. He's done the fast out 202.2. Just when he needs to do it. Maybe putting that hard rear tyre on is showing now. Everyone's struggling a bit with rear wear. McDonald isn't. Especially Lorenzo and Zarco. Look at them, they're still trying to go side by side. As McDonald goes past Iannone into 8th. Beautiful move into the right-hander. Into the S's, past Petrucci. That was aggressive. So maybe making a point to the Italian about earlier as well. Maybe he's thinking he's at blame for him crashing. But he's up into 7th, and there is the top 5 right in front. The podium's still not that far off, but he might run out of laps. To go through the kink sideways, doesn't matter. What matters is what Zarco's doing to Lorenzo, pushing the Ducati wide. Which allows McDonald to have a little look and get some slipstream on this back straight. With half a lap to go. Number of positions still up in the air. Isn't it like Zarco? It's just held off Lorenzo, has he? No, Italian make the move into the left-hander. Let's maybe allow McDonald to make the move around the outside into the right. No, Zarco holding that inside line. There's all Volga down from 11th. Zarco's teammate. So McDonald goes down the inside into the left. And now he's got the run into this right-hander where he's been making so many moves this race, and he does into the top 5 ahead of Lorenzo, or does he? The Spaniard trying to fight back around the outside. But it's 5th for McDonald. He's going to the final couple of corners. In this like is another Yamaha 1-2. As Vinales controlled the race from the hole shot to the flag. Now for McDonald, another 202.2 to end it as he grabs a top 5, his best result so far in MotoGP. And what a ride, what an up and down ride. As well, he's only actually 4,000 seconds ahead of Lorenzo, thanks to that time penalty, remember, that he got for almost crashing in the S's. Bit unfair. As it's Pedrosa in 4th, Dovi in 3rd, ran out the podium on his Ducati. Fantastic ride from the Italian. And then behind Zygo got Petrucci and draining only down to 9th on his Suzuki. Then Scott Redding rounds out the top 10 of Lois Baz. Frenchman on the Avintia ahead of Alicia Spargo. Then you got Bautista in 30. Marc Marquez recovered to 14th. Quattro grabs the final point ahead of Alex Rins by a second and 3/10. And right at the back is Bradley Smith. As in the championship, Rossi leads Vinales by 15 points. Now the Spaniard climbs up to second ahead of Marc Marquez after his terrible race on the Honda. As Dovi up to 3rd now, 4 points ahead. The Spaniard with Pedrosa in 5th, very solid from Danny, just 3 points behind his teammate. And Patrick McDonald up to 6th, 2 points ahead of Zarco, 4 ahead of Iannone, with Coccio down to 9th. And Petrucci ran out the top 10 on 20 points. As you got Redding in 11th, Lorenzo up to 12th head of Alicia Spargo. Lloyd Baz up to 14th head of Alvaro Bautista, with Jonas Folger down to 16th. And Jack Miller in 17th with a solitary point ahead of Alex Rins, is now best on the non-point scorers, with Hector Barbie and Sam Lowe's dropping to 20th and 21st. Carriaham still in the wooden spoon spot. As in the constructors' standings, it is Yamaha with a maximum 3 from 3, 26 points ahead of Honda, or 7 points ahead of Ducati. Aprilia up to 4th ahead of Suzuka by 4 points. KTM yet to score. And in the team's rankings, there's a massive 52-point lead for the movie star Yamaha team, already over Repsol Honda, who are just 15 points ahead of Ducati. Then we've got the Aprilia Gresini team in 4th, 2 points ahead of Pramac. That could be a season-long battle between the pair. Then we've got Tech 3 in 6th. Suzuki up to 7th ahead of LCR. And Avintia up to 9th ahead of Aspar, with Mark VDS in 11th and the factory KTM effort in 12th. So after the theatrics in America, we head to Spain for the first time this season, and Jerez. Can Patrick McDonald improve upon his best MotoGP finish so far? As here he prepares for his 2 qualifying efforts in qualifying 1. With the Jorge Lorenzo corner and on to the start-finish straight. Let's see what this Aprilia can do around a very different circuit Dakota is Jerez. Got some medium speed corners. Not as dramatic, the undulations, but there's still a bit there. As you can see, you climb to the first corner and go down through the second. But it's mostly about corner speed around here. Aprilia definitely has that. The Qatar is anything to go by with Argentina. Around all the races so far, I believe McDonald has got the fastest lap. So he's definitely got pace on this Aprilia everywhere so far. And this should be no different. He's pretty good around Spain, as he's shown in Valencia, Aragon, City de Barcelona, Catalunya, and here previously. This is a good banker effort so far. Smooth hitting his apexes and going around the corners. Definitely got the lift through this left-hander now. That MotoGP spec. Into the far end left. So often a corner, so easy you can run wide there, but keeping him in the groove now into the double right. Got to watch out in that first right-hander, in case somebody wants to lunge down the inside in the race. Bit wide in the second. Round to his favourite double right. First this fast right-hander going down slightly. And the second heading towards the final corner. What the hell? Curve trying to kick him into the air. But he's held on. Not the best exit though. At the final corner as he go across the line with a 36.4. Very solid banker effort. Let's see if he can go faster though. Not sure that's good enough to go through to qualifying 2. Goes downhill with the right hander. Almost losing the rear. And into the fast left, so easy to go wide again. Slightly wide there. We go almost half a second behind. We always have it so far. Really got to step out McDonald. He goes a bit wide again. Onto this back straight. Now to the cul-de-sac corner. He's lost another 10th. Halfway through this lap, he might as well just give up. Going to see if he improves though in the second half. There's definitely areas to improve though. Or not, he's gone wide. Might as well give up on this effort. But it doesn't matter, as his first effort was definitely quick enough to make it through, a second ahead of Miller. With Sparrow just missing out by 14,000th of a second to the Australian. You've got Folger, Redding missing out, with Bradley Smith at the back alongside those. So let's see what Patrick McDonald can do in qualifying 2. As here goes Patrick McDonald for glory in qualifying 2. One effort, one shot. One chance for Paul, and he's blown it. Run wide at the first corner. That's all that can happen. One corner can ruin your chances. But let's see if he hooks up the rest of that and can still do a decent qualifying effort. Lots of second and third gear corners around here. He's heading on to the back straight. You can take this in third. You've got the corner speed. Maybe just better to take it in second in the mid part. Use that engine braking to get towards the apex. Now into the hairpin at the end of the back straight. Got to watch out for a move into that corner in the race. You can sometimes die from a long way back. Going into the fast left-hander zone, he's near enough to the apex. Now into the double right. Gonna keep it in second. Still wide of the apex though in that second part. This has not been a good lap. Again wide in that right hander. Much better in the second right though. Now just the final corner to go. Nice and smooth pick up from McDonald. But this is just as good as his first effort in qualifying 1. It is. And it's good enough for his best qualifying so far on the second row alongside the Renzo and Crutchlow, with Marcus grabbing pole ahead of the Pedrosa. No doubt the home fans are happy about that. This is definitely a Honda circuit with Dovi in third. Then we got the Yamahas down in 7th and 8th on the third row alongside Iannone with Zarco, Petrucci and Miller rounding out the 4th row. So despite not the best qualifying effort from McDonald, he's right up there. Can he make it? His first podium or even win in MotoGP. As there is Green still for the first time is on the first page of the grid. And once again he's going with the hard rear, medium front, so it should be very strong in the second half of the race. Watch out for that, just like in America. As you look through the grid, loads of Spanish riders for the home fans to support. So we're up the engine waiting for the lights to appear. And go out for this 7-lap race. Nice smooth start from McDonald. He's already leapfrogged ahead of both Ducatis, has he? And both the Hondas into the first corner. He goes for glory. But he can't quite make it through. Somehow survives going into Crutchlow again. As Alex Rins down at the back on the Suzuki from 18th. But he's in the top 5. Crutchlow's in 4th. And then it's like Dobby has split up the Hondas at the front. As you've got Lorenzo behind in 6th. No Yamahas in sight. That's a great move from McDonald. And the fast right-hander leading on to the back straight. Down the inside of Crutchlow into 4th. Will he be going for glory again into the hairpin? Not this time. Well, he's gone into the dirt. He's down. And it looks like his bike's taken out Lorenzo as well. As he rejoins in 18th behind Alvaro Bautista. No, Lorenzo wants to have a bit of a word with McDonald after that incident. Not very happy. Again, he's giving him a nudge through the corner. But being taken out. Gresini Aprilla, man, he once again has made it a 100% hit rate of crashes. Every race so far. He's got Lorenzo behind, in front now. Although once again hitting the dirt on this opening lap. Goes into the fast right though, gets back past the Ducati. As he goes towards his corner now. Will he even disrespect the man by overtaking him in his corner? Of course he will. Is that a KTM in 16th? On the edge of a point? And it looks like Pedrosa leads. Got Alvaro Baptista. Well, he was in 17th. And we've got a KTM in 16th with Bradley Smith, is that? So Lorenzo up to 80th down ahead of Baptista. McDonald making moves, slicing his way through the field like a knife through butter. As Bradley Smith now dropped to 18th. That optimism of a point has quickly evaporated. So a fantastic first lap from the Brit. We've got Hector Barber behind in 16th. Got Lois Baz in front in 14th. I think this is a Vincia sandwich. So I'm trying to make the move around the outside. We've got Elish in front battling with Jack Miller. Looks like McDonald has made the move. He's made the move down the inside of Miller. Now he's on the tail of Volga into the fast left-hander. You're not making that move on a MotoGP bike, son. He's got Baz in 15th ahead of Miller now. He really lost out in that hairpin corner. He's trying to make an attack on Espargaro. And look at this Aprilla sandwich for Volga. Oh, nudged out the way by McDonald. He's got no respect this race. He goes into the fast right. Somehow stays ahead of his teammate. 411th. So McDonald once again the lead in the Aprilla. At the end of this second lap. Now can he work his way into the top 10 as once again Pedrosa the fastest lap. Standing very quick at the front of the field. Or should I say Marquez 38.7, or should I say McDonald 38.3. That's even with lots of passing as you've got the Premac boys in 7th and 8th doing battle. There goes McDonald down the inside of Zarco. So the Yamaha's not very strong here as you've got the Suzuki of Iannone in front. Oh, gets into the side of McDonald once, tries 3 times. They somehow both survive. And this time McDonald has somehow got in front of the Suzuki into 9th. There's one thing you can say about McDonald this race. He's not being aggressive. Well, let's say he's been very aggressive, should I say. They look like red in ahead of Petrucci. The inter-team battle. As Alex Rins having a horrible race from the first corner. He's down again on the Suzuki. So they're looking to the outside. Not going to work though. He goes into the right on the tail now of Petrucci. He had some beef with in America. Let's see if they're a bit nicer to each other. In Spain, they're doing all over the tail. Got to set up this right-hander though for the move into the final corner. Why did he drift ride? Petrucci breaking in no man's land. As Marquez into the lead ahead of his teammate Pedrosa. And McDonald ahead of Petrucci taking advantage of him being held up by his teammate in that final corner. McDonald doing another fast lap into the 38.1s now. As he's up into 7th. And Pedrosa battling with Marquez. And now we've got the 2 Yamahas in front in 6th and 5th. Very unusual to see after the start they've had this season. See Rossi in 6th, Maverick in 5th. Marquez is in 2nd behind his teammate. Got Noah's Ark field here. As we've got Crutchlow in 4th though. Then Dovi in 3rd. You can see the top 7 all on the line down. His back straight. So he's not that far off the lead despite all his dramas, McDonald. And he's riding beautifully as his faster laps are showing. Now he's right in the tail of Rossi. There's a little nook into the fast left. Halfway through this race, he's on the tail of the Yamahas. Looking to hunt them down. Look, here's almost half the field so far. This race, McDonald. He has a nice smooth exit from the second right-hander. That's what he needed. He goes into the fast right down the inside of Rossi. You don't do that to the doctor. No, he's pushed him into the dirt. Have some of your own treatment, Rossi. Like what he did to Gibernau in this corner. Almost 15 years ago, McDonald has served out the karma, the justice to Rossi. Poor Gibernau, he's done another fast and he's into 37s now. This kid is flying. As he's into the top 5. You can even rule out a win. He's on the back of the podium places now with Crutchlow and Dovi. The Honda guys have just been having a little inter-team battle. Costing themselves time. Mador with his hard rear as well. It's about to get into McDonald time as Vinales down from 6th behind. Massive for the championship. We saw it with Marquez in the last race. Now Vinales. Only Rossi out the title contender seems to be able to keep his bike upright so far this season. As McDonald from way back having a look at Crutchlow. That's how confident he is on this Aprilia. He's going to go round the outside of the Honda into the left-hander. Crutchlow trying to go into McDonald. It's for the next left, and now Rossi's down, just as I say it. The only guy in the title contender is keeping his bike upright, and now he's down from 6th. What a horrible race for Yamaha. What a move from McDonald though, 4-4. He's less than a second behind Dovi. He's just a couple of seconds behind the Hondas. Oh, he's got off the curb into that fast right. Oh, somehow keeps upright though. Can make the move on Crutchlow into the final corner. It's Marquez ahead of Pedrosa now for the lead as he goes into the penultimate lap of the race. But dips back into the 38s. What a shock in that. Probably still the fastest guy out there. As Crutchlow goes into McDonald again. Why does he keep doing that? That's made McDonald miss his braking point for the next right. It's the front tyres are heavily worn. Look at that. Around quarter left. Oh, he's got a third of the rear tyre left. It's Crutchlow not giving up on this 4th place. McDonald finally through though onto the back straight. Let's see if he can actually hit his braking point though. With a hairpin. Oh, he braked where he normally did, but now the tyres are not giving up. Not biting in for him. So he runs slightly wide, but looks like he's finally dispatched Crutchlow. Now he's on the tail of Dobby for his first MotoGP podium. Who would have dreamt of this after that fall early in the race? Just half a second behind the Ducati, 3/4 of a second ahead of Crutchlow. As he go into the fast right-handers. Don't catch too much curb in the middle of that corner, that's good. Great run into the final corner. He's going to do it on Dovi, is he? He tries to dive. Dovi kind of using his veteran roles there, slowing down out of the corner. As he go into the final lap of the race. Again, McDonald diving down the inside of Dovi. This time he's done it. He's into 3rd. It's a podium place for the Aprilla rider. It's been a long time coming as a podium. Could it finally happen at his 4th attempt? I know saying out loud doesn't sound like it's been a long time, but in every race he has been strong. We're so close in Argentina. As our Hector Barber, there goes his chance of a home point. Down from 17th. Let's look at Pedrosa and Marquez in front. They're still deciding who wants to win this home race. But it's going to be a Honda 1-2. Because I don't think the Aprilla can do much in half of that. Despite how quick McDonald has been this race. It's been a class of 1. But it won't show it on the results screen at the end because of that mistake early on in the race. Had to fight his way back from 19th. As he's less than 2 seconds behind the battling now Hondas. He goes through the fast right-handers. Just about holding on to his bikes. He's got no front tyre. Look at that. In the bottom right. As Marquez has he taken the win from Pedrosa in the final corner. How cool, Mark. That's your back down from 22nd. McDonald with his first podium though. What a ride. As Dovi in 4th behind. And it was Marquez who stole it from Pedrosa by less than a tenth of a second. Fastest out once again goes to McDonald with Crutchlow in 5th. Scott Redding in 6th from the Premier. Fantastic result from the Brit. With Zarco in 7th, Eno in 8th. Espargaro in 9th. What a result for Aprilla. Lorenzo ran out the top 10 ahead of Folger. Loris Bowers once again did magical things on that Avintia in 12th. With Maverick Vinales recovering to grab a few points in 13th. Bautista in 14th with another solid point scoring effort on that Aspar. And Rossi grabs the final point ahead of Sam Lowes by around 2.5 seconds. But Lowes, good improvement from the Brit on the Aprilla. All the Aprillas having good races. With Bradley Swift in 17th on the KTM. Oh, almost a race for the underdogs. With Petrucci in 18th, Paul Spargo in 19th, Caravan 20th, then Jack Miller, Alex Rins, Tito Rabat and Hector Barber in last. So in the championship, Rossi leads by 8 points ahead of Marquez, is up into 2nd, 5 points ahead of Vinales, with Pedrosa up to 4th, 11 points with Dovi. McDonald in 6th, 11 points off the top 5 and 9 points. Zarco is further back, Redding into the top 10, head of Jorge Lorenzo, with Petrucci dropping down to 12th. And Folger in 15th ahead of Bautista. And Sam Lowes now the best of the non-point scorers in 18th ahead of Alex Rins. And Tito Rabat with Bradley Smith up to 21st ahead of Hector Barber. With Paul Spargo and Caravan right at the back. As in the constructors standings, Yamaha's 100% record is gone. They're just 10 points ahead of Honda now. Who are 19 points ahead of Ducati, or 11 points ahead of Aprilia, who are 12 points ahead of Suzuki, with KTM not on the scoreboard. And then the team's rankings, I said there was a massive gap after Kota. Now look at it. It is just 11 points between Honda and Yamaha at the top. A massive gap behind two Ducati of 41 points. Who are 14 points ahead of the Aprilia Gresini team. They've got Pramac in 5th, Tech3 in 6th, Suzuki in 7th, LCR in 8th, Avinta in 9th, Aspar in 10th, and Mark VDS in 11th ahead of the factory KTM effort. As yes, Patrick McDonald celebrating, perhaps mutely, his first podium in the MotoGP class. Why is he so disappointed? He rode brilliantly. Yes, he might have made a mistake. Not open that maybe cost him a chance at the win, but that's what he's explaining. He's still fantastic. The clone should be celebrating at Aprilia. As Patrick McDonald continued his rise up the MotoGP hierarchy in this episode. He's got his first podium on the board now. Can he perhaps grab his first win in France around the Bugatti Le Mans circuit or around the Mugello circuit in Italy next time out before he makes his first decision on which team he rides for the next 6 races after the Italian weekend. But let's see if he can battle for victory next time out. So for watching, I'll see you then.